A lot of these women are never satisfied, and you wonder why men don't want to get married. You wonder why men are hesitant on long-term relationships. You wonder why men are taking a step back on putting themselves in certain predicaments. It's because of women like this. These are the same women who just wake up one day and want to graduate from their marriage. They come to the conversation, oh, I want a man that's a provider. I want a man who pays all the bills. I want to make sure I can be a stay-at-home wife and a stay-at-home mother. This man has provided you all those things, and you still have a problem. And this is why I always say to these women who exude this ungrateful behavior that, girl, you better be careful, because if he have any kind of female co-workers at one of them jobs, they will be glad to trade positions with you.
The future is looking very doomy and gloomy, and I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. Now, we just had a dope discussion highlighting how a lot of the older men are opting out of dating and choosing to be single. But what about the young men out here? I'm starting to see a lot of the young men that are on the right path even say, I'm done with relationships. I'm done with trying to pursue something solid and secure with a woman. Like, that is so terribly bad. Because these are the young men that we need to help build the future generations to come. These are the young men who would make great husbands, great fathers, so on and so forth, that are like, nah, I'm good. I'm cool. I've seen too much. A lot of them themselves have even been through too much. And that just breaks my heart. And here's the thing. Y'all like the video, share the video, and subscribe. I gotta say this. Here's the thing. Ladies, there is something very telling about our behaviors and the things that we have done to these men, to where we are starting to see a lot of the young men and men in general that we actually need turn their backs. The men who not too long ago would take a chance on you. They were the ones giving you the benefit of the doubt and saying, you know what? Let me try to show you better. Let me try to give you better. And maybe that will help you out to maybe inspire you to change. But that's not happening anymore.
Which means modern women are failing as women and mothers. You have spoken a mouthful of truth.
I feel like where a lot of women go wrong in relationships is they feel entitled, right? A lot of men have to deal with this during dating because women expect men to literally read their minds. The thing is I feel like women need to stop comparing men to their ex or guys that they meet. Doesn't matter if he's more muscular, more tall, whatever, like those. It's just looks, or your ex set the bar so high that whatever it is, whatever the fuck it is. Instead of comparing your current partner to other people, start focusing on whether they're a good person and start focusing on their actions. A lot of the times, women will realize that they messed up comparing their man to other people because they thought those other people were better simply because they weren't dating them, so they didn't get to see a bad side of them. One-on-one coaching will be in my bio.
Accurate. We know this, and we always communicate this with girls, but they don't know how to listen, ruin a good run, and later want to come back after they regret their decision. Nope.
And then I went to prison for 5 years. When I got out of prison in 2003, I paid child support from that day until just February of last year when I lost my job.
Only because they garnished your wages.
Absolutely, that's what they do. And I actually asked my public defender, where's the proof? I've yet to see proof that the child's mine.
Mr. Manser, you are not
Oh, God.
his father.
Oh, man. 5 years in prison. Dylan, I'm sorry, bro. This is why. This is why I did what I did.
But this is nothing I made up. The lab did
You
it.
made it all up.
No, I did not.
Well, those results
I
apparently
don't know
are made
any
up.
of those people on that form.
Oh, my God.
This is clearly the most shocking
Very much.
news we've ever gotten in this courtroom.
Oh, my God. She should be convicted of some crime.
No, I should not. I did
That
not.
is fraud.
Mr. Manser, Miss Sear, do you know?
Yes, ma'am.
You know who his father is.
Yes, I talk to him still.
You cannot stand there and really suggest that you cannot comprehend why this man would not have any type of ill feeling, frustration, or regret as it relates to anything involving you. 5 years in prison. And then I say, do you know who your son's father is? And you say, yes, I'm still in touch with him. That is a really huge pill to swallow.
It's high time we start actually convicting these women too, or else we might never see the end of it.
Men are not afraid of marriage so much as they are afraid, or when it does unfortunately come to the point where they're getting divorced, they have this resentment and feeling that they are not being treated as well as a woman in the court system.
I think in the past, men earned a lot more money than women, and therefore they had accumulated, generally speaking, more property than women. So when they divorced, they were the ones giving up spousal support, child support, and property. Whereas as that changed and women are making as or more than in circumstances, they're the ones paying more. So I understand the resentment both ways. But unfortunately, when you get married, there are rules that come with divorce, specifically even more rules if you don't have a prenup.
Men's hesitance towards marriage often stems from fear of the complex rules and potential consequences of divorce, especially without a prenup.
If you're a woman who's married, then never get advice from a woman who's divorced. Spend time and get advice only from women who are older, have been in successful marriages, and who you would happily trade places with. Not women who don't know how to keep a man.
% change where they find these women. It's called the passport bros.
I know some married bankrupt men, but go ahead.
He's actually right about the end part. What most of us men see from younger men to older men, and we have conversations because after a certain age you work with older men and you're around older men and you always hear the end of the marriage. And it's a miserable thing to hear, to watch, to see, to watch a man lose everything.
Y'all scared straight.
Fair. I mean, is that a bad thing?
No, that's what
Right.
you're scared
Okay,
straight.
yes.
You've heard such bad stories.
So we see such bad stories too. So, you watch a man going from the G-Wagon to the 92 Civic because, his ex-wife is living in a nice house with her new boyfriend. That's scarring to see, when you watch it. So, go ahead. Most men are afraid of that, and most boys growing to men are afraid of that. It's just a reality. We think very logical. Like, that's how we think. We don't think, when it comes to finances at the end, marriage is beautiful while it's happening. But at the end, it's the post-credit where it's not a good thing for men. I've seen men lose their pensions that they worked their life for, and they're giving them up. So I'm just talking about the reality of it. So that's it.
So I have a question. No, I want you to keep the mic. I have a question. So you're saying you're talking to men and you're realizing that at the end, realistically, they are becoming bankrupt. Do you ever ask them the true reason of why their marriage ended? Was it infidelity? Was it we just grew apart? Like, what often is the true reason behind it? Now, I'm not saying women are innocent because I have seen some women bankrupt men. So I do understand where you're coming from, but I also know more often than not, it's a lot of things that have taken place in the beginning and in the middle, and by the time it gets towards the end, the woman is fed up because of everything she's poured in,
And you're gonna say that they're victims. There you go. That's what you're saying. Your thing is all about them being a victim.
You're a victim. There we go, CS.
That's what she was gonna say. First off, let's get one thing straight. My dear, you somewhat look like a turtle. Let's get one thing straight. It doesn't matter. That's how dark it gets. In actual reality, if marriage was the way it was, you don't get to get half my things. Well, let's say we're together without the government, because the government is the only reason why these things take place. Without the government, you think you're gonna get half my things? Let's just act like I'm this terrible person because you're a victim. They're always victims. Victim. Let's just say that. If you pick the wrong guy, you know what happens? You don't get half my things. You only get your body and leave. I did something to you. Yeah, so you get to take my children.
Just what I was waiting for. Somehow it comes back around to being a men's fault. It's never their fault. It's either he cheated or didn't treat her right, or he worked too many hours, she was lonely. It's sad.
Now, you might think I'm going to do what a lot of guys are going to do, which is say, well, now you know how we feel, and mock this woman, and so on and so forth. I'm not. Because, you see, I genuinely feel bad for her. Because there's a lot, and I do mean a lot, of good women out there. But the problem is, there's also a lot of not so good women. And they're the ones controlling the narrative right now. The narrative which says, don't approach women, all men are bad, it's all men till it's no men, etc., etc. And men have had it with that. It's been this way for decades now. When you add to it the risk of losing everything is significant. At least 50% of marriages end up in divorce, most of which, 80 to 90%, are filed by the women. And that's not even factoring in relationships that broke up before they got married, which again is mostly the women doing. So for men, it's all risk with almost no chance of reward. And men have figured that out. And they're done. They're walking away. Because much like women will go around saying, we don't know who the good men are, so we have to assume you're bad, the same standard is now being applied by men towards women. We didn't make the rules. We didn't set this paradigm up. The ladies did. So I actually feel bad for this woman. I'm going to assume she's a nice woman. Sure, she's been divorced. Okay, some will jump on her for that. I'm not going to. But I would also say to men, be very, very careful before you date someone like this. I'm not saying don't date her. I'm saying assess the risk and decide if that risk is worth any potential reward. And that's what men have to do now. Because as I said, that risk is so great of losing everything. Your home, access to your kids, a good portion of your income. I could go on and on. So I wish her well. But as the data is showing, men are done. They're walking away, and they're not coming back anytime soon.
Hit it and quit it, boys. Keep your sanity. Don't even entertain it anymore.
5 reasons why men are scared of marriage. Let's go. Number 1, weddings are expensive as fuck. The average wedding costs like $20,000 to $30,000. Who paying? I'm not paying. I don't got $20,000 just sitting around. Is your daddy paying? Is your mama paying? Because I ain't got the money. The honeymoon costs money too. I ain't got it. I just bought a PS5. Fuck you want me to do? The wedding ring alone is going to bankrupt me. Real shit. I got debt from college. Number 2, everybody around me tells me that marriage is bad. There is not one person I talked to yet that told me that marriage is good. Nobody, not the grocery store, the gym, nowhere that told me that marriage is a good thing. Real shit. Every OG I talk to, every man with experience tells me don't get married. Real shit. Even older women tell me to focus on me and not get married. I mean, what does that tell you? Number 3, divorce is expensive. I'm not playing. Divorce is expensive financially and emotionally. But let's talk about finances real quick. Lawyer fees, alimony, child support. Your bank account gonna be negative. Straight up negative. You gonna lose your kids too. Fellas, don't get it twisted. The kids going with the mom. Believe that. Number 4, feelings change. That spark y'all had in the beginning when y'all first started dating, that shit gonna die out. I'm telling you, do you know how hard it is to keep that spark from the honeymoon phase? Extremely difficult. You see each other every day, every night. You run out of shit to talk about. Spark gone, shit boring. Number 5, I don't need a ring to love you. I love you with the ring or without the ring. If we live together and we paying bills, why we gotta get married? For what? Why we need a piece of paper to tell us what we doing? I don't get it. We cooking, we cleaning, we arguing, we doing everything a married couple's doing. What's gonna change if we get married? We gonna be doing the same shit with a piece of paper. Real shit.
How about we say we're not scared, but bro, we're smart.
Divorce terms, your ex-wife shall be granted $10 billion, $1 million a month in acrimony, all of the cars, all the houses, including the vacation house, the beach house, wood cabin house.
What house do I get to keep?
Your mom's house.
What my mama gonna live,
We're
Judge?
giving her full custody of the kids, but you have visitation.
Judge, this is a no-fault divorce. It's a no-fault divorce. We both agreed to end
I understand, but you still have to pay.
Why do I gotta pay?
There's more. In the
Oh.
case your ex-wife is about to die before you, she'll have access to a part of your soul.
My
Yes,
soul?
which she'll be able to exchange to extend her time
can do
on
that?
Earth.
I don't want to get divorced. I don't want to get divorced no more. If this is what it's gonna cost, I'm good. We can just stay married. I'll be a good boy. I will be a good boy. That is crazy. Don't you smack that gavel, Judge. You better not smack that gavel.
Even though this is pure satire, it's actually true and sad at the same time. Remember growing up, we used to always hear, "It's cheaper to keep her."
Men are providers, so go do that job, go learn a trade, go do something.
Well, you said that that's all they're good for.
Yeah.
And what are you good for?
A lot of things.
Like?
I'm funny, I'm smart.
You haven't demonstrated that yet.
Okay, well, that's your opinion. I'm a musician, I dance.
You dance?
The list goes on and on.
What a great quality. You can dance. What do you bring to the table, though?
What do I bring to the table?
Yeah.
I'm smart, I'm funny, I'm attractive, I have talents.
I don't know if men are so useless that their only job is to be providing for you. It sounds like you're just a typified eater. Like, I don't know what you're really bringing to the table. You're just kind of consuming resources, right?
I mean, if you want to hear the answer that I could be domesticated and I can cook and clean and do all that, I can.
No, that's not what I'm asking. What I'm asking is what value are you bringing to society?
By being me.
By
I don't
being
know.
you. I'm enough.
I am enough.
Okay.
So basically she said, "I'm arrogant, I'm useless, I'm entitled, I'm boring." She brings bills to the table.
As a woman in her 30s who's been in New York for 10 years, it's really hard to watch toxic men continuously date younger and younger. Why do they do that?
What about love is love? What about why do you care? What about all those things? I think they're stupid concepts, but she's the exact type of person who would say that shit. It all goes out the window when they don't agree. Yes, you're 30 and you're single and you're angry that the men your age are looking past you and are looking to date younger women. Sorry, but this is the world we live in.
Men choosing younger partners isn't toxic, it's practical. Younger women usually bring fewer complications, less entitlement, and a softer, more feminine energy.
The most frustrating thing about men is the fact that they refuse to acknowledge when they are being flirted with. We'll go, "You're so handsome," and they just go... They look so confused to the point where you're like, they obviously want nothing to do with me. That's okay. Won't do that again. And later you find out they liked you the whole time. So, what?
Men are finished with puzzles, mixed signals, and cryptic hints don't fly anymore. If you're interested, speak plainly. If not, don't complain when he walks. Today's men won't decode games. They want clarity, or they'll move forward without hesitation.
Like, would you date an average guy?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yeah.
Let's
for
say
sure.
he's got an averagely nice personality and he's pleasant.
Okay, if you're all average all across the board, probably not, no. You need something to stand out. If you're going to be
Why?
average on why? Because who wants to date,
Aren't you average?
I guess everybody's average, but when you're trying to present yourself to somebody...
You know what? You've actually just made the case for female hypergamy. You're, in my estimation, you strike me as a fairly average woman. I'm not saying that to be insulting, yet you need a guy to set himself apart, to be more than just average.
I don't.
You just said it.
This is exactly why men are walking away from this type of woman. The games, the entitlement, the lack of respect. It's a dead end every single time. Guys are finally realizing their energy is better invested elsewhere, not wasted on people who only drain and demand.
These are two things that men want that women do not understand. One is that they want reciprocation. And it's not that hard, ladies. Text him first sometimes. Ask him how his day went. Ask him what went wrong. Love him with as few conditions as possible. And just be patient with him. The fact is that most men have experienced relationship after relationship with unbalanced efforts. It's been primarily him putting forth efforts without reciprocation. And then he's been burned and he's not doing that again. 2, he wants you to understand that he will never be perfect. At some point, he will be inconsistent. Sometimes he will be impatient. Sometimes it will be hard for him to handle your mood swings. He just needs to be able to have a bad day or even just a bad moment without it blowing up everything. Because he wants you to be steady in your love for him and to realize that that bad moment, that bad day does not redefine him. That it's actually everything else that he's done right that should define him.
Definitely foreign territory for today's women. The very idea that any of this even needs to be explained shows just how deep the self-centeredness and entitlement runs.
Men don't need women, women need men. Men could survive without women. If all the women disappeared tomorrow, men would be fine outside of reproduction. Women need men. If tomorrow they made artificial wombs, what would they need a woman for? Who's a better companion, men or women? So men built the world. All the hard jobs are done by men. If men disappeared tomorrow, society would collapse. Men built the world that we complain about.
Arguably, one of the driving forces for men doing what they do is women.
Is women.
I think men built this world for women.
What I'm saying is men could survive without women. Because men can be alone, women can't. Women are social beings. We need attention, and men don't. You don't see women going out to the woods and just roughing it. That's a man thing. Who's camping and fishing? It's not us.
In fact, the peace and silence of being alone is unmatched.
But there's something to be said about age and experience, life experience. A lot happens in your 20s, and things level out.
Getting
when you
ran
get
through
older.
in baggage and trauma.
There's people with
men don't
emotional
want that.
intelligence.
Men don't want that in a partner.
Then why aren't they wifing us early? Why are they running around town? Like, if they don't want us ran through in baggage and trauma, why are they they're waiting till how are we so at 20 I should be looking for 40-year-olds that are ready to settle? I don't know how to
necessarily.
I don't know how you. It sounds like just a losing battle all around. If you look at it, it's like all the responsibilities.
But it depends on if you're a wife. All wives are found always. If you're 20 years old and you're a wife, you're going to be found. Period. In the story.
He basically labeled her a hoe with politeness. Zero accountability. She tried blaming her own promiscuity on men not locking her down sooner. Thanks for watching Manhood. If you want access to exclusive episodes and want to support the channel, hit that join button and become a member. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video if it hit home. Drop your stories and thoughts in the comments. We read everyone. See you tomorrow.